This is the Strongback USA show. I'm your host, Jason Mariner. I'm going to continue to unravel these big lies that are being told to the American people. So, when Joe Biden was inaugurated, he went on and on about how he's going to fix racism and unite the country, and then we talked about how this country is systemically racist and the problem that we're all having with white privilege and the big bad white man who's ruining everything for everyone. Now, it's very ironic coming out of a big bad white man, for one, because he is a big bad white man. I'm not going to argue with that for a second. But the majority of this country are not big bad white men. In fact, let me tell you this. I thought the racism card was going to cease to be played once we had President Obama elected into office by a systemically racist country. The guy's black, and a systemically racist country elected him twice. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that that would occur in a systemically racist country, but it did. Then, now we have a female, non-white vice president in a systemically racist country. We also have massive immigration from continents like Africa, South America, where people are not white. They're flocking to this country, sometimes legally, sometimes illegally, but they risk life and limb to get here to an allegedly systemically racist country. Now, if I'm not white, and I'm, say, from Nigeria and black, or from South America and Honduran, I'm definitely not coming to the United States if it's systemically racist. So that should tell you a little bit about how untrue that statement is and how little of an issue it actually is. This is not a systemically racist country. Racism is not as prevalent as they would like you to believe. The only reason racism is gaining more roots and growing and becoming more of a problem is because the people that are in power right now would like you to believe that. The reason they want you to believe that this is a systemically racist country is because when you have people believing that they live in a racist place, they start to dislike one another and hate one another. And racism and hate, you know what that does? It creates the opposite of unity, which is what they're preaching they want. They want unity. This country needs unity and healing and all that nonsense. Well, first of all, the country does not need unity. We need to get back to a place where we can agree to disagree and not kill one another. Okay? That's what the country needs. We need a two-party system. You have your views, I have mine, but we can still be friends. We can still get married. We can still live next door to one another. We can still have relationships, but we don't have to dislike one another because of a difference in political belief. That's what this country needs more than anything. What we also need is a president again. We don't have a president right now. In fairness, when he was inaugurated, I said that we were going to pray for him, hope for the best, because in theory, if the president of the United States is doing well, the country should be doing well. I'm not going to refer to him as President Biden anymore. I will refer to him as Dictator Biden or King Biden, but he's certainly not presidential. None of the things he's doing are the things that a president that cares about his people would do. Country's in the midst of a pandemic. It's been going on for a year. People are losing money and jobs at an unprecedented rate. Yet, the first day this guy is in office, he signs an executive order eliminating 22,000 jobs that are actually being worked at like that day. The following day, poof, those jobs were gone. The ancillary problem to that executive order being signed is that it's going to eliminate tens of thousands of other jobs that would have subsequently popped up. So, when you have the XL Keystone pipeline being worked on, there's massive amounts of people moving to those areas where the construction is taking place, which means stores have to open, diners have to open, things of that nature, which create even more jobs. Then we halt construction on the border wall. Same thing happens there. And as a result of us halting construction on the border wall, that means we are going to now be letting more undocumented, illegal aliens into this country. In fact, we're about to do it with 10, 20, we don't know what the real numbers are, but it's over 10,000 Hondurans in a caravan working their way towards this country into these open arms of King Biden because he says it's okay, because he says that this is what's needed and this is what's best for the country. Well, here's the deal. It's not, because those 20,000 people or 10,000, however many thousand people, you get the point. Those people are going to come here and they're going to take your jobs. They can get paid less when they're undocumented. They can get paid under the table, costing the employer less money. Therefore, they're a more desirable person to hire if you own a business and you care about profit margins and you don't really care about the country. I happen to be not one of those people. I follow the rule of law now, so undocumented workers not welcome at any of my companies or here for that matter. If you came here the right way and you're a U.S. citizen, I'll hire you all day long. I don't care what color you are, what country you're from, or who you have sex with. If you can make me money and help my company, come on in, let's do it. But not if you didn't stand in line, not if you don't have your right papers, not if you don't belong here. That's called illegal on so many different levels. But it's going to weaken the country. That seems to be the common denominator in all of these executive orders that are being signed. The only way to weaken a country is to divide the people, make the country dependent on other countries for necessities. We saw that happen during the onset of this pandemic. I don't know if anybody remembers this far back, but this country very quickly ran out of supplies, medications. I went to the pharmacy once. They didn't have my medication. I asked them why. You know what their answer was? It's made in China. We weren't getting things from China. There was a complete shutdown. We ran out of supplies because we were dependent upon other countries. I don't know if anybody remembers this ongoing conflict that we've had forever and ever in the Middle East. That's all been about oil. The United States finally became energy independent, meaning we did not have to rely on hostile countries and regions and parts of the world that absolutely want Americans dead. They want to end Western civilization. Why on earth would we give them back the power to control us by making us reliant upon their production of fossil fuels? Doesn't make any sense unless you look at it from the perspective of, oh yeah, maybe they do want to weaken the country and lessen our position and hurt us as a whole. It should be starting to make sense to you, and if it does, it's very, very scary. In fact, when Biden was elected, I thought that we were going to hear immediately that Putin was going to take over the world and start rattling his saber again. Well, he's not doing anything. You know why? He's sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying the show because he knows he's going to reap the benefits of the Biden regime. Russia's going to control the oil production in the Middle East. They're going to go after all of that. Watch, mark my words, you'll see. All the steel production that we're going to now send back over to China, all they're going to do is make more money, get richer at our expense. There's going to be less U.S. jobs. We're going to be relying upon Chinese steel, which we know, by the way, everything that comes from China is low quality and inferior to things that we make here because we just do things better in the United States. That's one of the things that makes America the greatest country in the world. We do things well. We get the job done. Why would you want to take that away from us if you have the best interests of the United States at heart? You clearly do not. Just like you say you're a Catholic, but you support abortion. The two don't jive. They don't go hand in hand. You can't be a Catholic that supports abortion. You literally can't. Okay? It goes against everything Catholics believe in. Right? So I want everyone to start really seeing that we are being lied to constantly. Again, systemically racist countries don't have black presidents. They don't have whatever Kamala Harris says she is today as vice president, because that's changed a few times. The point is, she's a non-white male. Okay? Systemically racist countries do not elect people like her to be their vice president. Now, there's questions on whether she was elected at all to begin with, but you get the point. We had Obama for 8 long years in a systemically racist country. It doesn't add up. Neither does the unity thing. You can't do the unity thing and push racism down the throats of people. You can't say we're going to heal the country and force policy on us. You can't say that you're going to make this country a better place and then act as a dictator and oppress the people. You know what dictators do? They take over a castle, they build a wall around it, and then they put troops on the outside of it to keep the people out that show up with pitchforks and, torches in the middle of the night and say, we don't like what you're doing, we're taking the castle back. That's exactly what I think is happening in Washington, D.C. There's no reason you can justify deploying 30,000 troops, more than we had across the entire Middle East, to our nation's capital in response to what happened on the 6th. There's no way that warrants the deployment of 30,000 armed National Guardsmen and women. Oh, and then you slap them in the face by questioning their male whiteness. What a ridiculous set of circumstances and decisions that was. Whoever's behind that should be fired from whatever job they have immediately. President Biden should be gotten out of office because he's, again, not president. He's just calling himself president. Just like if I were to say, hey, I'm Jason Mariner and I'm a dog. I'm a German Shepherd. It doesn't make me a German Shepherd. It makes me a person that says he's a German Shepherd. President Biden calling himself President Biden does not make him a president. Actions make someone a president. The things they do for their people make them president. Presidents make things better for the people that live in the country that they're president of. Joe Biden is not doing that. Joe Biden is scaring people. He's making things worse. He's ruining lives as we speak. This is why I say this is a call to every patriot, every real Republican out there. In fact, it's a call to every real Democrat out there. We need to get out there and stop this crap dead in its tracks, or we'll have no rights left. They're fleeting. They're being taken away from us at an alarming rate. Everybody should be very concerned. So, if you call yourself a patriot, it's time to start taking action steps. Write petitions. Sign our petition. Find your voice. State how you feel about what's going on. Let people know that you're on to these big lies that they're forcing down our throats. It's not going to happen. You're not going to shut down 150 million Americans. I certainly won't be a part of that shutdown. You will not cancel culture me. I'm going to continue to speak my piece and help you get your rights back come hell or high water. End of story. It's not going to stop. I encourage everyone to stop buying from China. I encourage everyone to stop using these oppressive social media platforms. There's a caveat to this. I'm using some of these social media platforms because I've been told that I'm kicked off and I can no longer use them. And I've driven them to a point where they actually have to assign a person to track my IP addresses and shut down these subsequent accounts that I set up. But they don't catch me quick enough because I'm still able to get this message out to some people. If you're in that position, use a way, make them work, make them spend money to get rid of you. If you're not, I strongly urge you to consider the investment that you put into Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these social media platforms that could just take everything away from you. You put time into setting up photos and writing your opinion on there. That could all be gone tomorrow morning, just like it was for me 3 weeks ago. The second your narrative falls out of line with theirs, your stuff's gone. They can control all of that on a whim. Remember, if they're capable of taking my rights away, what makes you think they're not capable of taking your rights away? What's worse, though, is if they're willing to take my rights away, what makes you think they're not willing and won't take your rights away? Well, it starts with getting them regulated. It starts with saying that we're not going to take it anymore. And it starts with finding your voice as a patriot, reading the Constitution, and finding out the fact that in the First Amendment, it says that we have a right to have our grievances redressed and heard by our government. End of story. If we've got a problem, we need to say something about it, do something about it, and force change. End of story. That's how the Constitution works. It protects life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I intend to be there every step of the way and to help every American get their rights back no matter what. Now, they can continue to censor me, which they will. They continue to shut down profiles, what have you. It's not going to make a bit of a difference for me because I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep encouraging you to take a stand, and I am going to keep using my resources to affect change. Until next time, I say God bless you, your families, the Constitution of the United States. Watch over us all. And yes, it is still a republic. Don't let anyone tell you any differently. Be well, everyone.